Want to know the real secret to making a woman chase you? Not just for a few days, but forever? Here's the truth most men overlook. Women don't chase men because they want to. They chase them because they feel they have no other choice. There's something about these men that makes them stand out. Something that no amount of charm, good looks, or flashy gestures can replicate. Picture this. You walk into a room full of men, all vying for attention, trying to impress. But you're not doing any of that. You're not the loudest, you're not cracking jokes, and you're definitely not trying to be the center of attention. In fact, you're just doing your own thing, being yourself. And yet something about you is magnetic. It's not about trying, it's about being. You radiate an energy that is calm, confident, and undeniably attractive. You're different. And that difference, the quiet, powerful energy you project, becomes impossible for women to ignore. You've learned the subtle art of standing out without ever having to try. That's what gets her attention, and it's what keeps her chasing you. You don't need to beg for attention or desperately fight for her affection. You become the man that others are compared to, the one she can't help but be drawn to, the one she fears losing. You want to know how to do that? Well, it all comes down to mastering a few simple yet incredibly powerful psychological principles that most men completely overlook. Stick around, because in just a few minutes, I'm going to break down the exact steps you need to take to make a woman fear losing you and chase you, not just for a short while, but for as long as you want. You've heard it before. Value comes from scarcity. It's one of those concepts that's tossed around a lot, but most men have it completely wrong. They think it's all about being scarce with compliments, text messages, or trying to play hard to get. But let me tell you, that's just scratching the surface. The real secret to attraction has nothing to do with playing games or pretending to be something you're not. It's all about your time, your energy, and your presence, and how you choose to give them. You see, when you start thinking about scarcity, it's not just about how often you reply to a message or how many compliments you dish out. It's about what makes your time valuable. It's about your energy, what you choose to invest it in, and who you share it with. And your presence, that's everything. When you walk into a room, when you speak, when you give someone your full attention, how you do it and who you do it for speaks volumes about your value. And when that's limited, when it's not constantly available, that's when the chase begins. Think about it for a second. When something is too easy to get, it loses its value, right? Think about all the things you've had in your life that were easily accessible. Did they ever hold the same level of appreciation or excitement as something you had to work for? The same concept applies to your attention. If you're always available, always replying instantly, always ready to drop everything for her whenever she asks, you quickly become just another option in her life, someone who's easy to get. And when you're easy to get, your value begins to fade. Now contrast that with setting clear standards for your time. When you make it known that your attention is not something that comes without consideration, you elevate yourself. Suddenly your time becomes a limited resource. When she can't just reach out and have you at her beck and call, she starts to take notice. She starts to wonder, why isn't he constantly available? What makes him different from every other guy I meet? And that's when the chase begins. When your time is rare, it becomes precious to her. She starts to realize that you're not just another face in the crowd. You're someone who demands respect, who values his own time, and who isn't just waiting around to be her convenience. The attraction builds not because you're showering her with attention or affection, but because she begins to fear losing someone who is hard to get. She starts to crave what she can't always have, and that's when the power shifts. She won't chase you because you're giving her more. She'll chase you because she fears losing something valuable and irreplaceable that she can't have all the time. Here's the next big secret. It's not about what you say, it's about how you carry yourself. You can say all the right things, have all the clever lines, and tell the best jokes, but none of that really matters in the long run. Women aren't looking for a guy who can talk a big game. What they're truly drawn to are men who radiate an undeniable sense of confidence, purpose, and calm. When you walk into a room, you don't need to be the life of the party or the loudest voice in the crowd. In fact, that can often work against you. It's easy to get lost in a sea of noise, and trying too hard to be the center of attention can make you look desperate. Instead, you need to be the man who sits quietly in the corner, calm and collected, not trying to impress anyone. You're not out there seeking validation or scrambling for attention. But here's the key. Even though you're not desperate for attention, you still command it effortlessly. There's something magnetic about a man who doesn't chase after the spotlight, but still manages to draw people in without saying a word. You want to project an energy that says, I don't need anyone, but I'm open to those who can keep up. It's about showing that you're self-assured, that your life is already complete, and that you're not looking for someone to fill a void. You are content in your own skin, and your energy reflects that. When you carry yourself with quiet strength and confidence, it naturally draws others to you. They want to be around you, to see what makes you tick, to figure out why you seem so different from everyone else. And that's when the attraction begins to build. Not because you said the perfect thing, but because the energy you project speaks volumes. Think about how a woman feels when she's in a room full of loud, flashy men, all vying for attention. They're speaking over each other, trying to outdo one another, throwing out jokes, making bold moves, and making it clear that they need to be noticed. Now picture one man who isn't doing any of that. He's not trying to impress anyone. He's calm, composed, and purposeful. He's not chasing the spotlight, but he holds his own space effortlessly. He's not the loudest, but there's something about him that makes her notice him instantly. It's that quiet confidence, that self-assured energy, that makes him stand out without even trying. Women aren't drawn to men who chase them. They're drawn to men who allow the chase to come to them. When you're always reaching out, always eager for her attention, it signals neediness. But when you don't need anyone to validate your worth, when you're grounded in your own self-assurance, you stop chasing. That's when she starts to chase you. When you radiate calm, grounded confidence, something powerful happens. You become irresistible. Women are naturally attracted to men who can control their emotions, who don't react to every little thing, and who have that "I'm fine on my own" vibe. The most attractive thing you can do, though, is to have a purpose. And I don't just mean having a career or a hobby that fills your time. I mean having a clear mission, something that drives you to wake up every day with direction and clarity. This is the kind of purpose that makes everything you do meaningful. It's what makes you wake up in the morning with passion, with goals, with an unstoppable desire to make an impact. Whether it's in your work, your personal life, or the world around you. When you're on a mission, it shows in your energy, your focus, and the way you carry yourself. You're not distracted by unnecessary things. You're not waiting for her approval. You are living your life with intention, and that kind of man is magnetic. Here's the kicker. Women aren't drawn to men who are just going through the motions of life. They're not looking for someone who's content to drift along, waiting for things to happen, or letting life unfold without purpose. No, women are attracted to men who are actively creating a life that aligns with their values, who are living with intent, and who have a vision for what they want to achieve. These men aren't dependent on anyone else to validate their worth because they know their value from within. They know that their self-worth isn't tied to someone else's opinion or approval. They are self-sufficient, driven, and have a clear direction. A man with purpose is not just someone who exists. He's someone who commands respect through his actions, his words, and the energy he radiates. This respect doesn't come from asking for it. It comes naturally when you live a life with conviction, when you wake up every day knowing exactly what you're working toward. And here's the beautiful part. This respect naturally leads to attraction. When you're respected for your values, your integrity, and your drive, women can't help but be drawn to you. They want to be a part of the world you're creating, and they want to be around a man who is unwavering in his pursuit of his goals. So if you want her to chase you, the key is simple. Start living a life that's compelling. Build something meaningful. Invest in your own growth, your career, your passions, and your purpose. Have goals that excite you, not just vague plans that don't lead anywhere. Women are drawn to men who are chasing something bigger than themselves. They're drawn to men who aren't waiting around for life to happen. They are out there making things happen. When you live like this, Not only will you have a sense of fulfillment, but you will also have a magnetic energy about you. Women will start to notice you, and more importantly, they'll begin to chase you, not because you're begging for their attention, but because they can't help but be captivated by the energy of a man who is on a mission, a man who knows exactly where he's headed and what he's doing. One of the most powerful things you can do is to set clear boundaries. Women respect men who respect themselves, and that starts with refusing to compromise on your values or your time just to please someone else. When you create boundaries, you're telling her and everyone else that you have a standard. You're not just going to accept anything. Your time is valuable. Your energy is precious. And when you set those boundaries, she'll start to see you as someone she can't take for granted. But let me be clear. Boundaries aren't about being rude or manipulative. They're about showing her that your attention is something she has to earn. And when she realizes that your time is limited, she'll begin to value every moment she spends with you. Mystery is a woman's natural trigger. The more unpredictable and hard to fully understand you are, the more she will chase. But how do you do this without playing games? Simple. You don't reveal everything about yourself all at once. It's about keeping certain things to yourself. Don't be an open book. Let her fill in the gaps. Don't respond to every message instantly. Don't reveal every detail of your life up front. Let her get curious. Let her wonder what's going on behind the cool, calm, collected exterior. When she can't fully understand you, her brain starts filling in the blanks. And that's when the chase begins. She'll be drawn to you because she wants to figure you out. And the more she's trying to decode you, the more invested she becomes. When you combine these principles, something amazing happens. You stop chasing, you stop seeking validation, and she starts chasing you. Why? Because you've become a man who's not just another option, but someone she fears losing. So if you want to become the man a woman chases forever, start implementing these principles today. It's not about tricks. It's about becoming the best version of yourself, a version that is rare, valuable, and magnetic. Like, subscribe, and comment. If you're ready to make this shift and stop chasing, hit that like button, subscribe, and comment below your thoughts or experiences. I'd love to hear your stories. And remember, when you live with purpose, the chase comes to you.